weekend, scored a very impressive stoppage over Jamie Cox. Did you catch the fight?
I did. It was a great fight. I bought it on ITV box office and did my part, as I always do. And it was great coverage, great production. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the whole show. Great undercard, loads of knockouts. That's what you want. That's what you want from a boxing show. And I really enjoyed the fight. I thought Cox boxed out of his skin. I'd never seen much of Cox. Didn't really know anything about him. Heard he was a big puncher. Didn't realise he was that good. But he really brought the fight to George. Gave it a few close rounds. But obviously the cream rose to the top. And George Groves against the southpaw. George Groves has got a sickening uppercut to the body, and there's not once that shot landed. Once he got his range, I think the round before he started picking them off with a right hand counter. I realised the right was on the wall, and Cox's aggression, which has given him good success in the past, worked against him. You can't just rush George. He's too much of a sharpshooter. You got to be cute, you got to be clever with your attacks to have any type of success with George. He had a little bit of success early, but George is too seasoned. He's been there, he's done it, seen it, and there are levels in boxing, and George is just he's one of arguably the best super middleweight in the world.
How does that make you feel as somebody who's been there right from the very start with George? I mean, obviously you're not trained under the same stable anymore, but I'm sure you're still somewhat in contact. How does it make you feel seeing George now not only having the world title around his waist, but defending it in style and obviously moving?
It's great. It's amazing. I did an interview earlier and I was saying, I was with George. I signed George when he first turned professional, Haymaker Promotions, and to see him sort of progress and to see him achieve his goals is absolutely amazing. That's why I did it. Really, that's why I've got Haymaker Promotions. Is I've achieved my goals as a boxer. Multiple world titles in multiple weight divisions, and to guide other people, have your little assistants at some stage in their career, and for them to fully achieve it. It's nice. It's quite heartwarming to see. Him. When he picked up that first world title, the WBA title. That was, for me, I was like, yes, there you go, George. I always knew he could do it. Ever since I saw him fight James DeGale, in the amateurs when he was like 18 or something, I always knew he had that X factor. And he was a bit unlucky with his world title fights with Badu Jack and Carl Froch, but he finally, as I said, the cream rises to the top at some stage, and it surely has now. And what a fantastic fight he's got for himself with Chris Eubank Jr. That for me is going to be one hell of a barnstormer of a fight. As I was very impressed with Chris Eubank Jr.'s fight against Yildirim, the Turkish lad. So I'd watched that Yildirim train in Miami. We trained together in Miami in the same gym at 5th Street Boxing Gym, and this guy, super tough, great chin, great work rate, and I thought it was going to be tough. I thought that was a tough guy to pick. I remember thinking, of all the guys to pick, that guy could potentially be one of the hardest fights, and he made it look like the guy was nothing. He made it look like he was just a bum. And that shows levels in boxers. When you make a good fighter look very average, shows how good you are. So I believe, he hasn't showed that much punch power at middleweight, but I think moving up to super middleweight, somehow his punch power has gone through the roof. And I think him and George, I wish this was the final. I really wished it. I'm like, oh, why are they fighting in the semi-final? I so wish they were fighting in the final. But I think it's an amazing fight. I don't know how the fight's going to go. I've watched them spar maybe 100 rounds in the past, and every single round was tasty. Every single round was toe to toe. I think I've got loads of sparring footage of them sparring each other. They're really good. Both very good fights. This was when Chris was very young. I think George was George hired him as a sparring partner at that time. So George was kind of fighting for championship level, and Chris Eubank was just coming through. But even still, it was always competitive rounds. Always competitive. Chris Eubank's always had a great engine, and George Groves has been a supreme boxer. So when you have the punch volume from Chris Eubank Jr. and the sharp shooting sniper style of George Groves, you're going to get yourself an absolute barnstormer, and I can't wait for January, February for that semi-final to take place.